Look, he's
Oh boy,
die on us again.
Sorry. Oh, and it was nearly Dan. You have a rubber ducky. He's got a child's toy, and I have vitamin pills.
Are you sick again, Justin?
I'm sick of some people. Here we go. Here's Tony Sillett saying hello. Mark Kerr saying hello as well. Straight in there tonight. Where the double figures are ready tonight. Julie Mason saying hello. There you go. And we've got Paul with us this week.
Hey, what about you, buddy?
Well, how are we?
Aye, tired. I'm genuinely knackered, I have to say. I'm working. And long days at the minute. Long days. But it's very funny because I'm starting to hear about what's been happening to other people out on the road, on tours. And some of them's hilarious. A lady coming down to the guide. This didn't happen to me, it happened to somebody else. Lady come down to the guide and says, just to let you know, my husband's just died. Sorry? My husband's just died on the coach. And it didn't happen to me, it happened to somebody else. Then she followed that up by saying, but I just didn't want to annoy everybody, so I thought let everybody go. But he really enjoyed the tour today. Yeah. So she didn't want to panic anybody, so she just let her husband die on the coach. Let everybody get off. And then said, "Oh no, he really enjoyed the day, so at least he died happy."
You're not joking, Marty.
That's far out,
no,
Marty.
100%.
That's
100%. I'm sorry.
Oh God,
so. Oh, nuts.
Jesus,
nuts.
Where's the weigh-in, by the way? Who's got a child in the room with them?
I'm in a hotel room. I do not have a child in my hotel room.
Let's hope Marty doesn't have a child in his hotel room. I've got my 11-month-old, 10-month-old. He's somewhere around that month old, and he's just about to go to sleep. So you can hear him in the back. Right. Yeah. I'll tell him to shut up.
No, just for the record, I do not have any children in my bedroom here.
And whatever you do, Paul, don't do what they used to do in the past and put a wee drop of whiskey in your finger and put it into Suze's teeth. You wouldn't do that.
Oh, we don't use our fingers or our dummies. We just give them a wee glass. We've got glass. Have you seen the glasses we're using for the festival? Sure, the mini Glencairn style. They're pretty
lovely.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice. These many things.
Do you know what I used it for the other night? I used it for Bailey's ice cream. It's delicious. It's just the right amount of Bailey's ice cream in it. Yeah. And then you can pretend you're not drinking the entire bottle.
I'm glad they've got the good use. I mean, that's important. It's important that they've been used properly.
Oh, yes.
Good.
Listen, if anybody can hear us in the background, Deacon Blue is up here. And I'm in Edinburgh, by the way. In Edinburgh Castle. They're singing and wheeling the way up here. And I've tried to tell them to shut up, but apparently they won't listen to me.
At least you're getting a concert for free.
I'm sitting here listening, talking to the yous. I could be out here singing and getting on. Hey, no, I'm here listening to Justin coughing and trying to die on me. Aye.
We can take him off screen, Marty. We can just have banter, while he coughs his lung.
We could do that. I've told you that idea before.
Here, what do you see with this? Look what this Comanche has said. Thomas Jones says, "I thought Justin was the child." Right. A child called me daddy in the supermarket yesterday, and it wasn't your child because they look quite big. Those girls there. What would say? Frank Hearn.
Frank, how you doing, buddy? You're still with us. Hurrah.
He is still with us. Glad to hear you're watching tonight, Frank. Welcome along. If it's your first time watching, remember to comment, like, and share. Hit subscribe on YouTube especially. Follow us on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Twitch. We're on Telegram. And wherever you get your podcasts as well. Paul, we're going to leave you in the green room to look after the weigh-in. And then we'll talk to you in about 15 minutes time after we do the news. Here we go. We're hiding you.
Aye. I'm on the pars tonight. I picked up a bottle of pars the other day. So this has been doing the rounds with me to aid my sleep, to aid my weary head of an evening.
Right.
Yeah, no, I bought a bottle of pars, so I've smuggled anti-Scottyland here. So I did. Now, it's hard to know what to do for the news this week. What's going to be the lead story? So we've decided to go with our friends over at the Crawley Distillery are now doing tours. So yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, when did we talk to them? It was a while ago we talked to them, wasn't it?
Talked to Joe a while ago. To be honest, I think their distillery looks pretty funky. It's direct fired ex-cognac stills that look like Mr. Magica or Willy Wonka style thing. It looks really fast. Now tours are €19 to €27, depending on what alcohol you want to take and buy yourself with. So yeah, another nice thing for Donegal to be doing. Nice people.
Right. So, but basically, had they even started tours? I think they had started tours. Had that and then COVID hit?
No, they've only done. They just started doing tours. They done some for the people who had bought Founders casks, but now they are opened up for the general public. So they'll get down there. We'll let you get a run around some of these new distilleries that they after the season's over.
Well, I tell you what, the Crawley Dolly, if we got a Crawley Dolly and give it to Paul's Wayne, that would subdue it. He doesn't know. Paul, I can see Paul, but you can't see him because he's looking after the Wayne there, and he's laughing away. Crawley dollies are a wee bit creepy, aren't they? They're a wee bit creepy. They're like one of those dolls that you stick pins in to get people that you don't like.
They're like wee dolls that Stephen King would have made a novel about, that they built up to life at night and do these horrible things. They sold millions of them. I mean, they must have sold millions of Crawley dollies.
As people collect them, I looked them up. I think my granny used to have them, but I think she used to stick pins in people that I said I didn't like or something like that. There, maybe, But anyway.
Yes. Now, next story up. Tourism NI funded the Hinch Distillery to the tune of £500,000 to build a new maturation unit.
Wow. That is a lot of money. Paul's eyes are lighting up here.
So in the picture here, we've got William Stafford, the new head distiller, David Roberts from Tourism NI. He's strategy and some double-barrel title. And then there's Dr. Terry Cross, OBE there. So they're getting along with the 500,000 for the maturation unit. They've also picked up another 200,000 from Tourism NI to further enhance the visitor experience. So 700,000.
It's pretty slick when you get there. It is pretty slick.
Yeah, I mean it's very nice now. It's very nice, but they've got another 200K to upgrade the visitor centre.
Okay, it's a lot of do re mi.
It is a lot.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
Now, where are we heading next? Because we want to talk to Paul as soon as possible. Because Belfast Whiskey Week is that ram packed this year. It might take 2 shows to fill it.
Yeah. Now, the Derry Journal was reporting this week on the what do you call them? The Watts company, the Watts Development Company or something it's called, who are building the Watts Whiskey Emporium and Watts Craft with Distillery. Now it's out for public consultation because they have availed themselves of a government funding thing to it's the Levelling Up Fund. So the Derry Journal's reported this week. They're going to bring distilling back up to Derry. I mean, because a lot of people don't appreciate the Watts distillery in Derry was, I mean, it was enormous. The two of them were enormous. One much bigger than the other. And they closed.
Was that the one that he closed the door whenever they went on strike or something like that?
See, this is the story. They went on strike and he drove up. Apparently, it said it was a gold Rolls Royce or a yellow Rolls Royce, and climbed up in a whiskey barrel. Asked, "Are the doors going to stay shut?" And they said yes. And he said, "Well, they'll stay shut. They shall." And closed shop, and off he went to England and never opened them again. The whole place, everybody out of work. I think it was, if memory serves, there was like 450 workers or something there, and all of them out of job. And but there was more to it than that. There's a bit more to it than that. he had sort of overreached himself a little bit. But yeah, it shut 100 years ago last year, never reopened, and these guys are going to resurrect the whole brand. The whole project, the Whiskey Emporium, the distillery, and also £20 million project, but it's part of a bigger scheme for it's 175 million. We're written down here. 175 million to regenerate parts of Derry and bring new bits and so on and so forth into pubs and clubs and bars and retail outlets and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you have to say, if you pull up that picture and the artist's impression on the big screen,
I will do, yeah.
Yeah, I have to say that looks pretty slick, doesn't it? That looks pretty sick.
It does, because you can actually see not just the stills inside the distillery, but you can see completely inside the distillery.
Yeah.
Where's that going to be? Abington Square or somewhere else?
It's down near Shipquay Street somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's I mean, it's a big project. The only thing I would say is I would imagine being in there on a hot day would be you'd need a glass of water, never mind a glass of whiskey, because yeah.
Well, most times it's absolutely Baltic in this country, so usually that doesn't come into play.
I was at the Blair Raffle Distillery this morning down in Pitlochry, and they were saying that in the still room the other day, because it was warm, it was 45 degrees centigrade in the place. So it was in the still room. Yeah.
It's not very big, but...
No, it's not very big. Well, they pump out a lot of stuff. It's not massive, but it's not small either. You know. This place is going to be making a 1 million bottles a year project. That's what they're going to be making.
Right.
Yeah.
That's quite healthy.
Yeah,
quite healthy.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
Next up, this probably should be the lead story, but I'm sort of getting fed up with the record breaking and millions and hundreds of thousands and all this kind of crap. But Ardbeg have sold a single cask of whiskey. I
have not.
Yeah.
Have they?
A 46-year-old, it said cask number 3, 46-year-old. It's sitting at 48% ABV. It has 440 bottles left in it. It's a sherry butt. And they sold it for... No.
How much?
16 million quid.
So that's a lot more than their average wee beastie, isn't it?
A lot more than the average little beastie, yes. It's what's going to happen is a private buyer. Apparently, she's a lady from the Far East. That's pretty much all we know about her. And she bought this. She's going to get 88 bottles a year for the next 5 years out of this cask. So that works out at £36,000 a bottle. Now, it's hard to see her selling that on. I assume it's for some sort of private collectors club or something. I mean, I don't know. If she sold it on, is she going to get 36k a bottle for it? Who knows these days? But it's just
it's silly.
It's just
madness.
But it is what it is.
And were they doing NFTs with this or anything like that, or was it just
cash?
It was a straight sale.
Money. Now, the thing is, according to Ardbeg, they have. I've been asked about these casks. Ardbeg closed for a number of years. I think closed for about 10 years at a time. It hadn't had any production. Obviously now it's up and running again. But they, the pre-closure casks, most of that went for blend. So there's very few of the old casks, but there are some of them. And they've said in in a report that they have enough that they could count on a couple of hands of these casks. So you imagine, even if there's 10 of these casks sitting kicking about, if they're sitting at 48%, if they're sitting sort of sub 50%, they're going to have to sell them at some point in the very near future. So it's not like she bought a one-of-a-kind cask. They've already admitted there's more of this. So paying £16 million for it, bummers. I mean, it's absolutely nuts, really, when you think about it.
Well, you can hardly sell it for less than that, because the person that's paid 16 million will then feel hard done by, won't they?
Who knows? Who knows this day and age? I mean, it's just nuts. But
Peter Stewart said he said bad words there when
I'm sure
whenever you said that.
You know,
I know.
Yeah, but people want to pay it. People pay it. You know, so that is what it is. But personally, the wee beastie at £45 a bottle or whatever it is, it's a perfectly serviceable whiskey, and I'll be quite happy of a wee beastie like that.
Yeah.
Now,
There we go. There we go.
Last but not least, there's another fan of Proper 12. This is another MMA fighter who's kind of trolling Conor McGregor. Jorge Masvidal. I don't know anything about him really. I just saw this and thought it was kind of funny.
It's pretty cool. We might get Zuckerberg because there is bad language in this. And if you're woke or of a nervous disposition, please have a fatal car accident.
Got a little cut on my foot, jumping into my pool, doing backflips and front flips. Cut doesn't heal up because, fucking keeps getting damaged when I go on the wrestling mat and shit like that. So I needed some fucking rubbing alcohol or something like rubbing alcohol, and we don't have none in this house. And then my brother had a bright idea. Get this cheap ass fucking shit. Somebody was giving it on the streets. I'm like, yeah, we could clean the cuts out real quick, because that's probably all it's good for,
It'll kill the fish. It'll kill the fish.
Cheap ass fucking whiskey.
Pescatorians.
This shit don't even sting. This is fucking trash, bro. What the fuck? What's the content of alcohol in this shit, bro?
Tony, we didn't find any liquor of Proper 12. I kind of thought that was dead funny. I did think that was kind of funny. So it was, but no, that's the news this week. Tony, you're right. Let's hope there's no fish in there.
No fish in there, unless it's a piranha and then it decides to attack Conor McGregor. That'll be fine. But
that's bad, Justin. The man has some redeeming features, maybe sometime.
I know, but he could get to star in a movie with Kelly Brook, and that would be all right. She was in that piranha one, wasn't it? Or was that alligator? No, it was piranhas.
Oh no, it was piranha. Oh, that's right enough. I forgot
that was a good movie. She got in at the end.
Moving swiftly on, Justin, before the cameras to start. we have a child watching partially tonight.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm sure we'll understand what I'm saying anyway.
Yeah.
Should we give Paul the countdown so as he's ready?
Bring him on.
Paul, are you ready? Paul, are you ready? Here he is. He's back in the room.
I'm ready.
Well, buddy, how are you getting on? How's life treating you?
Super. And the wee one's away out for a wee walk now, so you can have your profanity and say what you say, and don't worry about it. Let people be expletive. But yeah, no, I'm busy. I'm extremely busy, and buzzing because we're literally 2 weeks away from a festival, which I genuinely, on paper, yes, is huge. But you know what? It's starting to gain such momentum. I think, just talking to people. I've been on the radio a couple of times this week, which is really nice. U105, and I was on this morning with BBC Ulster, and great to be on those shows and talk. But talking to the whiskey community is very important. But this festival generally not necessarily about all of the enthusiasts and all about all the whiskey drinkers, and it caters for that. But it's really about everybody. It's a festival for anyone to come and experience whiskey. Try and come and have a bit of crack. And do you know much about it other than the fact you're part of it, Marty?
Well,
you're in there.
Man, just in case anybody doesn't know, I'm doing 2 walking tours every day, and just to put a caveat, the whiskey tours I do it's whiskey, but it's linked to everything else, and that's kind of what I like about whiskey, because it plays such a part in lots of other things that it sort of blends into other stories that people are possibly a bit familiar with, maybe are not that familiar with, and little places around Belfast. So it's a slightly different thing than just full on whiskey, because it kind of lends itself to what Paul's trying to do with the festival. Anybody can really come. You don't have to be one of those weird facial hair bun people who make beer with funguses and stuff. You don't have to be like that. You can just come along.
No,
correct.
You're doing 2 every day. So you're doing 2 every day. it's a lot of tough, tough graft for it to do. But yeah, I mean, your walking tour is about the history of Belfast and how whiskey has somehow imparted lots of heritage into that. There's whiskey involved, yes, and there's some food involved, yes. So actually, it's these are must see opportunities, particularly, yeah, Marty. I think for people, and we are pushing it towards people who maybe just want to learn, get a knowledge of what's going on here in Belfast, because for too long we've ignored whiskey heritage for 70 years. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We to bring that back, we somehow need to come back, and we need to stamp our authority on it again. This festival, I don't care what anyone says, this festival is unique. It's unique. It's unique across the world. I don't care what anyone says. We've got festivals elsewhere. Yes, Facial, super. Speyside, brilliant. Highland, great. And we've got lots of expositions or showcase, events that take place around the world, be it Dublin Live or Paris, New York, London, all these different events that take place. But this is something special. We're at 111 odd events.
Yeah.
And they are all different. They're all types of events that, are catering for the enthusiasts, the experts, the people who really want to delve into some phenomenal whiskey. So it's there. We've got the whole Dreamcast collection again, pre-1980 Irish and Scotch tastings. Those tastings are for the, are for the people who really want to taste excellent, unreal whiskies. That single cast selection by Dunville's that they'll have at the end of the week, the last tasting of the festival, unreal whiskies, age statement stuff. And then there's the introduction to all of those brands that we have. So new brands that we've never heard of before coming to the festival. People who don't normally visit the north. So brands that are taking their wares and coming to Belfast.
Yeah.
And then all of these local distilleries. So let's look at Redeman and Hinch and Copeland, Ecklenville, Cologne, Two Stacks with their shed. These guys are all getting behind the festival, and open up the doors. People can go down, have some food, have some, whiskey, do the tours, and really, get to experience the distilleries that we have on the doorstep.
Yeah.
I think it lends itself to lots of different opportunities. Lots of different people can come and do lots of different things.
Yeah.
I am buzzing for it, and I'm generally. Someone said to me, "Can you pick one event which you would want to go to?" And I was like, "No, not really." But we're designing and collaborating with lots of partners, so we've really teamed up with lots of people, lots of local businesses here, and I am really excited to showcase those experiences. Today, I got to taste properly our whiskey donut. So we have a whiskey donut for the festival for the whole week, which is available to the public. We've
How come that wasn't at the launch tonight? I only got to taste a wee bit of chocolate.
Okay, hold on. Well, listen, because we've asked O Donuts. So if anyone knows Belfast, there's a craze that has been going around for the last couple of years. Donuts have been making a big impact in the city, and O Donuts are I suppose they are the kind of future of donuts in the city. They're creating really random flavour and tasting donuts, and they've got a cult following, which we absolutely love. So we said to them, make us 6 donuts. We're going to do a pairing, whiskies with donuts. So we've got 6 unique donuts to the festival, and we've got one specific which will run for the whole week. And by the way, I give them a selection of like loads of different whiskies to choose from, like loads. I mean, you name a whiskey, I gave it to them. Different styles, different tastes, and you could not guess what whiskey they picked as the main whiskey for the festival. You just couldn't pick it. It's unreal.
Is it a secret? Is it a secret, or can I guess?
No.
Can I guess?
Yes, I'll guess, and then I'll tell you. Have a guess.
I assume it's an Irish whiskey, is it? Throw us a little bit of a hint here. Give us an idea.
Okay, so at the moment they're a bottle and bonder, but they have a distillery. Okay, so there's clue number 1. 2, it's in the north. 3, it's run by a guy who's called Brendan. 4, it's 11 years old. 5, it includes whiskey from outside of Northern Ireland.
Oh, it's the Dalriadan, is it?
Dalriadan.
Holy Jesus.
Dalriadan part one of 2. The most expensive whiskey I gave them to, Frank, it was 120 odd bottle, and but they went with the smokiness and the the sweetness of that whiskey, and they have created it's a pineapple glazed with toasted coconut and flamed pineapple on top. This donut is unreal, and I listen.
It sounds unreal.
Blown away by it. Blown away.
Blown
But
away.
here, like the whiskey comes right through on it. And listen, I gave it to people today on the BBC on their show, and most of them didn't drink whiskey, and everyone ate all the donuts. They were just they're like,
here,
this is so
Gareth Spence has got it right. Sounds terrible. Better leave them all for me.
yeah. He knows the score. He knows the score. But look, things like that. You know, we're working with collaborating with people. So Tribal Burger again, lovely burger place in Belfast. We've now teamed up with them. We've got 3 nights in there. We've got Teeling Whiskey are doing a takeover. Who, you know, and you'll have a Mars bar, deep fried Mars bar in there with some interesting ice cream and, you know, burgers that have, you know, whiskey infused. Foxy's Boar in there. Or burger of the week for the whole week. So you can go into Tribal Burger and buy a burger, whiskey burger, and that's infused with whiskey from Foxy's Bow. Jameson are doing a takeover in there as well. So listen, mad, you know, ideas coming to fruition. You know, doing these collaborations.
Yeah,
but
just scrolling down the fence because there is so many that it's kind of hard to remember just all what's going on. So I'm looking down here. You've got everything from you're cooking with whiskey.
Cooking with whiskey, 2 courses. We're taking over Belfast Cookery School, so there's 2 sessions, 2 courses. So you get to make your dinner with whiskey. And there's a chocolate making with Jerry from Chocolate Manor that we're doing as well. So you can make the chocolate. The chocolates we had last year, think of how good they were, which were phenomenal. Yeah. This year, you actually make them yourselves. Away and make some chocolates. Go and have some fun.
Well, I'm just imagining Justin at that. Just his face all covered in chocolate and his hands all covered in it.
Delicious. They were delicious. And it was a bit like, you know, the music changed and the taste of the whiskey. The chocolate contains the whiskey can change the taste of the chocolate. It really is incredible. We have a great video up run of that, which dare I say has got 2.5 thousand views. Paul, about that. Yeah, it was very well received, even though it wasn't a live show that week.
Yeah,
but I listen. How do you manage to do all of these things? We've lost Paul because his signal has dropped off.
But Paul's out in the sticks. I'll just run through a couple of the things that pick up for me because the way they've done the Whiskey Week is they covered the whole thing. They've got really the small new players involved as well. You know, they've got guys coming on there who aren't that big or established and stuff. You know, I'm talking about the Clan Cola guys and all this. And then you have big ones, White and Mackay's there. And I know a lot of people get, you know, White and Mackay's a fairly cheap blend. Yeah, but it's perfectly drinkable and palatable stuff, and they're a massive company. And you go down Ecklenfeld cocktail party, and you have
it is. But what I want to know, Paul, is how do you plan all this? Because if you have to arrange a meeting, have a meeting, and then sort it out, and there's 100 different things happening, it must take you a year full time to actually put this all together.
Listen. Don't worry about how it happens. It happens. So it just happens. Somehow there's a lot of energy. See all the brands, by the way, unreal. The brands want to work. Do you know there's some events in there, like, and I want to just come back to some of them. There's a company now in Belfast. Everyone's aware of Taste and Tour. If you're in Belfast and you've not come across Taste and Tour, something wrong with you. We're doing a little bit of collaborative work with them on their new project, which is Spirit Circle. There's a thing called the Sensorium. We've now got them to commission a whiskey sensorium specifically for the festival, specifically only looking at whiskies. That's a must-see for particularly for yourself, Justin and Marty. I want the two of you to attend that session. Go in there and get involved with that. There's one of the sessions there, Marty, you should be able to attend after your tour. And I'm telling you, this is interesting. This will lighten up your imagination about whiskey. I'm really impressed with it. But look, you're right in what you say. You know that it's very tough to bring something like this together,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's such a joy to try and do, because everyone is keen to do something. All the facilities, all the venues we're using, they want to do something. They want to like be involved in such a festival.
Yeah.
You'll notice there's a couple of events, well, at least one event which says it's a secret party. It is. I know nothing about it,
Seen that?
but the brand knows something about it. So I can't tell the brand, but the brand is developing something, and it is phenomenal. Like, I've been told, listen, expect the unexpected from these guys. So I'm kind of like, okay, this could be a good crack.
Can I tell you my secret party story? I'm going to tell you this, Paul, and you'll like it. So my granny went to Randallstown with the Cooperative Guild about 40 years ago. Okay, you know the Cooperative Guild?
I know the Cooperative.
She went to Randallstown, and she went with the whole of the friends from Carrickfergus, and they went to Randallstown, and they went in Randallstown on a magical mystery bus tour. So guess where they went?
Portrush.
Carrickfergus, where they're from. So listen, you know, but tell me it's something to do with whiskey. It's something to do with whiskey.
It's definitely something to do with it's something to do with whiskey. And to be honest, look, when a brand says to you, look, we want to throw a party, and you'll notice in the festival we've got parties. So Ecklandville are doing a cocktail party. You've got Dragon opening up with a club night. You've got Dead Man's Fingers rum. There's a rum party, rum cocktail sessions. People are taking this and taking it seriously. It's a festival, so why aren't the parties? Parties are important. Let's go and have some fun. Listen.
I tell you what,
after the last couple of years, absolutely,
we need a party.
Absolutely.
We need a party. So Marty took me down to Grace O'Malley for some parties, and I was poleaxed. But listen, Tony Sillett says, keep the chocolate, not my thing. Keep the chocolate, not my thing. Put the lights on, Paul. Yes, darkness has come very quick. So Tony Sillett says, keep the chocolate, not my thing. But at the same time, Tony, as I was trying the chocolate, there was pies in the Angel and Two Bibles, and they even had whiskey in them, didn't they?
They do. Do you know what? Angel and Two Bibles is a fantastic little spot above the Deer's Head, and we've got cocktail making classes in there, so people can come along with expert mixologist Ronan Collins is doing some cocktail making classes for us. But yeah, we're using the Deer's Head for a Boilermaker session, so 3 beers and 3 whiskeys, Boilermakers, and guess what? Those pies will be there. Of course they will. So pies infused with whiskey, and they were yummy. They were.
What's not to like about that?
No, you couldn't get enough of them. But they were absolutely gorgeous. And there's Justin going, oh yeah, I like that. Thanks.
I know.
He sneaked in, by the way. Hold on. He sneaked in his 2 mates.
I did it, and they took your boxes, Marty. Listen, they were very grateful. That other mate of mine, who's a mate of mine, we were going to the theatre that night to see Jersey Boys, and he was over the moon. He was absolutely over the moon, and I give them a couple of whiskey samples to go in the box too as well when we got home, and they were over the moon. Very, very grateful. You didn't have to do that, Paul, and they loved it. They really loved it, and they're both whiskey people. They're both whiskey people, so that was very, very, very decent of you. But listen, it's not just you're continuing the virtualness of it as well, really, aren't you?
Yeah, there's a little bit of virtual. We have to, and I think that it's only fair that we do this now. This year for this festival, we really want to be in people's faces, in person. So, there's 1%. I call it the 1%, but there's 1% where we are out doing some virtual stuff. And we're going to live stream a virtual tasting every day, and we've got a tasting pack that people can purchase, and that's possible. However, I think what I want to do is continue to connect with that community. So at Christmas time and at Easter time going forward, we're going to have only virtual festivals for a couple of days and sending the packs out again. It's just that when I was designing this year, I really had to think about how do I bring people into Belfast? How do I get the people of Belfast to really think about what's on their doorstep, what festival we have? And again, it's trying to sell this to the brands. So every brand, and I just want to list through, because there's a lot of brands that people just haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Maybe Limavady. I've maybe not heard of Limavady, but they're there. There's another one from the north. The Glens of Antrim distillery. There's another one from the north. Then and obviously we've got the Radowin, the Copeland. Rademin. Sorry, Copeland, Hinch, Ecklinville. We've got these guys. That are involved. Cologne, the Two Stacks lads. So it's great to see all these northern brands involved in the festival. Then we've got ones from the south. So Walsh Whiskey are involved in the festival. Clonakilty, Teeling, Bowan, Dingle, obviously, putting such an effort in. Dublin Liberty Distillery. And then we've got coming sideways, Foxy's Bow. We've got Wayward. So Morris O'Connell. We've got so many of these different brands coming into the festival, really wanting to make an impression. Obviously, we're very well supported, can I just say, by Dylan Bass up here with Whiskey Club NI, who are supporting the festival, from all the product from IDL. So there's a whole day full of IDL product stuff, you know what I mean? Be it the spot range, be it where else are you going to, by the way, have the opportunity to taste all the spots together, all the Redbreast collection together, on the same day, during the same kind of events. You're not Meth and Madness, lots of, and obviously the Jameson range, lots of different products here, lots of different brands. Then we've got Scotch Malt Whiskey Society are still involved for this year, which is great. Douglas Lang's involved again this year. I would say that if people aren't aware of those types of Scotch whiskies, they need to get themselves acquainted to them very quickly. They are great. They're super stuff. But look, we took, we're taking things seriously this year. We've got 3 speed dating sessions. That might sound a wee bit silly, but you know what? We're looking at different demographics to allow people to use whiskey as a conduit, a conversation, and we've partnered up with a local company who are Rate My Date NI, who have really thought about how do we get people off social media apps, stop all this internet dating crap, and start bringing people together again, which I think is lovely. And I got
you could be the new Cellar Black.
I got to experience one. I got to experience one of the sessions to see how it worked, and I actually was really quite impressed. I was like, you know what, this is cool. And it's a lovely way for people to meet each other again. And I think coming out of all this crap for the last 2 years, it has been really nice. And I was given that idea by Robert Gustafsson there from Sweden, and unfortunately he can't make it to the festival, so I blame him for the fact we can speak. but it is there, and we are like, we're making use of it. And yeah, do you know what, Mark, you touched on White Mackay. Do you know what, I hadn't really reached out to White Mackay in general terms, but White Mackay reached out to us to be involved in the festival. I think that said it all. When we've got new distilleries contacting us as well, it is lovely to see the likes of a Scara distillery, so the Clancola, a whiskey. They're going to be involved. I was really humbled by their approach to us. They were really constantly messaging, we'd like to get involved. When can we get? How do we get involved? And just seeing the festival was something that they wanted or felt they had to be involved in. And then we've got the Whitney Neal group with the Samuel Gelston Irish Whiskey. Those guys, again, very supportive of this festival, and they have been the last few years. So, look, there's probably more. There's probably ones I've missed. Pierce Lyons. Oh God, I missed Pierce Lyons. But here, by the way, anyone who gets to go to Pierce Lyons tasting, I'm allowed to tell them this now. Pierce Lyons will be talking about not just their Irish whiskey, but also their American whiskey, which is very important because that is the oldest American single malt available in the world. And I think that's really cool. People probably don't know that there's two Pierce Lyons distilleries in Ireland and in America, and they're bringing that together for the festival for us, which I think is pretty cool. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what? I haven't really touched on McConnell's, Titanic. The two of them are going to be interfacing with their own distilleries at some point in the city. Do you know what I mean? McConnell's are making massive strides to make sure we've got something in the criminal jail, and their whiskies are superb just now. That 5-year-old and then 5-year-old sherry was great. And then
the presentation. Let's not forget the presentation's absolutely stunning.
Those bottles are class. And then you've got Titanic, who are clearly trying to make sure the pump house works for them. But look, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. I genuinely, like, I'm super buzzing for it, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm just having some crack, organising it. I genuinely can't wait until we start it. We've got guests coming from all around the world to present. I have not even mentioned, I should have mentioned this, we've got 2 Australian tastings, and they are comprising of 6 distilleries from Australia. So 6 distilleries are being represented here at the festival, which I think is just phenomenal. I really am impressed by their level of engagement with the festival. They loved it last year. They did it virtual, and they thought, why not? We'll send over someone from Australia to fly in. So John Halton's coming over to represent the Tasmanian 6 Tasmanian distilleries. Wow. I just think that's a wow.
Yeah.
I remember I met, what was her name? Anne something from the Tasmanian Whiskey School ages ago. And it was one of these things you kind of, once you're informed, obviously, and people know a lot more about it. But at that time, nobody had really heard about Tasmanian whiskey. And it's a real hotbed of whiskey. It's a real, a real thriving community of whiskey that some ways maybe a little overlooked, and for them to come to you is a big effort as well. I mean, it's a big thing for them to come to you, and it's a big thing for the Belfast Festival as well.
It is, and you know what? Look, some people will miss this. Like, there's a lot of people in the whiskey world, and I talk about the whole big community, the community who are looking at this and going, right, well, what is Belfast Whiskey? How does it fit into this, grand scheme of things? Mm-hmm. Look, we're only 4 years old, so hold on. And I think we're definitely biting off way more than we can chew. There's no doubt about that we are still biting, and we'll find our feet. However, I generally think where we're at, we must be at some point in the near future being deemed as a whiskey tourism destination, a place where people who go to festivals around the world
without a doubt.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to go to Belfast this year. Look at the lineup. Look what they've done. Look what they've managed to achieve. This is where I want to be. I want to come and see things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Look, I think the festival. It's not. It doesn't have to be just for the enthusiasts. It doesn't have to be to everyone we're talking to on these whiskey podcasts and in our own kind of silos. It is for everybody. I genuinely hope it just touches the heart of people in Belfast so they understand what it's about. I hope it touches people who make that effort to go to Islay, who make the effort to go to Speyside or Highlands, who make the effort to travel around different distilleries at different times, and they think, wow, hold on. A lot of this has been brought to one place. A lot of this is being coordinated in such a way that it is a festival. I mean, you can go online just now. You can go onto our website. You can click on, the Monday, select a day, select 4 events, and it'll cost you 90 quid. And with that, you get food and entertainment as well as your 4. This doesn't happen anywhere else. This type of event doesn't take place like this. We've really created something unique. The one, I suppose, event 111 is a whiskey tasting spoken solely in Irish.
Yeah.
There's no English being spoken in that event at all. We've got some key speakers at it, which I think is really cool. And I think that's never happened. I don't believe it's ever happened in Ireland that we've had an Irish whiskey tasting solely in Irish, specific for a festival. So I think it's cool. I think we've got some really unique sessions there.
The one thing I would say is, I just happened to say about at the start about Crawley starting to do the tours. I mean, Crawley, there's a big part of their if you like footprint is that they are in a Gaeltacht region, that Gaelic is their primary thing. I mean, we have our guys down at Michael and stuff, and there's a big part of it, and it's nice to see that being represented and given that voice to people.
And they are getting a nod from the funders of the Gaeltacht regions down south as well. So that's fantastic. I mean, some of those best history programs on BBC Northern Ireland are the ones that are in Gaelic, but I can only read the subtitles. But we're getting a few questions there. Paul were asked. Gareth Spence, he asked that innovative deal there that gets you a bit of everything. Gareth Spence, is there one pack to buy that covers all the virtual tastings, or are they separate packs? That was the question.
So what people might see online is there's an opportunity for us. We're live streaming every day for the first session every day, really, at 12 o'clock, and that's part of the pack. You buy the pack separately. You know, if you are planning on joining us virtually, don't buy the sessions online. There's a pack that you'll be able to buy that'll go through our distributor, and we have to do it through an off license, an off sales. So that will go through at the moment. It'll go through Anzac. So we'll wait in the next little while, probably within a week, we'll have a link directly to Anzac off sales where you can purchase those packs. It's a good question, Gareth, because we've actually put it in there that if people are in Belfast and in the festival, well, they can still join us for that, and that will, it's a tenner to join us, but you're not getting the 50ml sample bottles. You're not getting the full festival pack. You're getting a very small section of each tasting. So look, it's a good question. I really do, really do appreciate it. I want to touch on. We're taking over Common Market. If anyone's been to Belfast and has been there, there's a big. We used to be the old Arnott's fruit and veg market, and it's now turned into a big eatery space with 8 different little vendors, street vendors as they were, and a couple of bars, and it's just a big massive space. We've turned that into a music space for ourselves. We've got some live music, traditional music kind of in partnership directly with Tradfest, which is on in the same week, and then we've got some potching cocktail parties and a Redeeming short cross cocktail party in the evening. And in between all of that, the takeover from the brands is great. We've got Alchemy Distill, who are distribution, working with high C spirits here, bringing Wayward, bringing Kinsale and SMWS to the table, which I think is great. The Sam McDonald and Gary Flynn are working hard there on that project. That'll be interesting because those tastings are really interesting. You get to try 3 different brands across 3 different kind of sections, like some really interesting stuff from SWMS, and then you get to blend stuff, I think, with the Kinsale guys, and trying those really premium products from Morris O'Connell. So they're interesting. They're interesting sessions, and they're a whole day of those events, that you can latch onto.
Is Morris coming up? Is Morris coming up to?
I bloody hope so.
To grace us with his presence. I haven't spoken to him for a while. It was just I was wondering if he's coming up. I'll maybe take a run over and see him. Say hello, Morris.
Good. No, I do hope so. But look, I mean, I was going to say, like, where else can you try lots of different tastings? Like, we're doing. I think I might have mentioned it. Look, we're doing the Dreamcast tasting. This is every year we do this. So every festival we managed to go out and we purchase the dream casks. I mean, at the moment to buy all the dream casks, it's going to cost you somewhere like, I think it's like, what was the last auction? €8,000 for all of them. We're doing it. We're looking at a retail kind of costing and try to break it down so it becomes very cheap. I think at the moment, if you go into a bar in the south and you ask for the new Redbreast, you're going to pay €100 minimum for a measure. Yeah. Our tasting for all 5 at the moment will be £155 sterling. So it's super value for money. But every one of those sessions should be value for money. I'm a consumer. I'm not a profiteer. I'm not. I don't treat this as like a way to make money. I treat it as a way in which to spread my love of whiskey and get people to drink whiskey and to kind of certainly bolster what Belfast is doing, but really, hopefully, all the local brands, get something from this, and people can start to see that we are at the very, very, very start of something special. I think for the whiskey in Northern Ireland. So each one of these sessions should be approachable and affordable, and hopefully we're doing the right kind of thing. Hopefully, people can see that. But
all I will say is the likes of the Dreamcast tasting. That'll soon be, you'll not be able to afford to do that because those prices just keep going up and up.
But my collection, so I think a lot of people, like, I absolutely detest these flippers. Like, I am someone who is heavily invested in whiskey and sell. We've talked to this before. Like, I'm happy to sell whiskey on for a profit. Sure, why not? Okay. But I mean, if I was able to purchase these bottles in or around retail price, and I can open them and share them with people who are wanting to taste it with me. Well, mate, it gives me so much more satisfaction to open them all and pour them with my friends and have craft people who want to come and join it. So really, I mean, are we losing from it? Or are we really benefiting from it? And I think we're benefiting because people are getting the chance to taste them.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't tasting them because it's too expensive and they sit in people's collections. Or as I say, flip them for ridiculous prices. So I know the people out there who flip don't like it when I tell them that, but that's what's happening. People need to have the chance to taste the liquid. Whiskey's made for a good reason. It's made to be drunk. It's not made to sit on a shelf.
Hey, will you hear this? Seamus Tobin says Boris is gone. Get the whiskey out, boys. But the only trouble is, Boris does like a party in a garden, so he might turn up at Common Market. I
was going to say he's sure he's been doing nothing else, but he's clinging on to his job. He actually wants to do a bit of work, so he can maybe have a word with our politicians because they don't want to do bugger all as usual. At least he wants to stay and do a turn.
Listen, I want to ask you about that. Is it coincidence that you're on at the same time as Trad Fest and the harps and all that, or is it just a fortuitous coincidence?
Yeah, well, I think first of all, Belfast Whiskey Week has never changed. We're the last week in July, and we have always been 9 days long. We kind of overstep our mark in the week, and we haven't changed. So what has changed here is Trad Fest has slightly got bigger, insofar as that Trad Fest used to always be about. This was the learning of the instruments. There was a lot of classes. Now they've kind of stepped up. So they've stepped up a little bit.
It's entertainment as well. Yes, yeah.
They've kind of stepped up a little bit. So that's lovely. It's a beautiful fit, by the way, because we've got people coming for both, specifically for both, which I think likes the Finn O'Connor. He's down in Cork right now, and he's staying with two guys who are playing as part of Belfast Trad Fest and the music, and they're travelling up together backwards to come to the festivals. And do you know what? At the same time, Pride is on as well. So Belfast Pride is on the exact same week. So we actually, 3 festivals aligned this year at exactly the same time, which just creates a buzz about the city. Yeah. I mean, people will be in the Cathedral Quarter. Like I can't explain how busy the Cathedral Quarter is going to be during this period, because people will be. We're predominantly in the Deer's Head, up in Angel and Two Bibles. We'll be in York and White's Tavern. We'll be floating in around those kind of venues, then at the Common Market, and then out to Ben Madigan's up in the North Belfast, and in various other bars and like Madden's and Bittles, and well, in the National. Jesus, where else are we? I think there's an event in the Merchant. There's different events and lots of different venues, and I think it's lovely that it is at the same time, because it fits. It just is a lovely fit to it. It allows me to offer, and this is the way it works. We can have all of our events, and it allows me at the end of the day to support Belfast Trad Fest by giving our patrons the opportunity to go to their music events in the evening. That's very cool, and and it saves me looking for that extra entertainment. Saves me looking for that extra part. So actually, it's a perfect fit for me. And Dono, who organises Belfast Trad Fest, knows this, and we're working in partnership to do some work together. So it's great.
It is great. Actually, if you want to check out Belfast Trad Fest, here's a video interview I did for Belfast 89 with all about Belfast Trad Fest, because my favourite instrument happens to be the harp, believe it or not. There you go.
My favourite local beer happens to be harp.
I can only drink harp with lime in it.
There's another one of the events that really caught my eye. It's the event 71, the new Scottish distilleries. Who have you snagged for that, or are you allowed to say or tell us?
No, do you know what? We don't actually physically have distilleries specific coming to that, although there might be one or two that might end up being here. But it's looking at what we've done there is we've looked at Scottish distilleries that have opened up in the last 10 years.
All the classics all the time. It's Belfast 89 FM.
That's new.
Why we may pay 60s and 70s music, the history of music in Belfast goes back a lot further.
At these new releases, so try to have
those in the
inaugural
1700s,
that we
it was
can
Edward
open and
Bunting
try.
wrote down all the harp music, the harp festivals
bit,
in Belfast,
I think
and that's what we know traditional music sounds like.
That's right, Justin. That's right. It goes back a long way, and the city has a
will
very
still veer to the
long and
Macallan or
strong
the
connection
Aberlour
and
or the
bond with the history
Glendronach
of
or the
traditional music on these
you know,
islands.
the Glenlivet's,
Like, tell
you
me,
know,
the Belfast
Rangies and
Trad
stuff, you know.
Fest
So
back with a
I think I'm
vengeance
trying to
this
introduce
year.
again.
What can we
I'm a supporter
expect?
of the
Well, yes, this is
stuff,
our fourth
you know, so the
edition.
Daft
We held our
Mills or
first
the
festival in
Wolfburns or,
2017
you know,
and had our
Kinecneen or
third edition in
whatever.
2019
That we can
before the
support
unmentionable
all these
happened,
new
and we're
brands.
absolutely delighted
So that's an
to
opportunity
be
there. So
holding
actually
our
trying to
fourth
get the
edition
distilleries
this
to
year
come over
from July
here
the
physically
25th
for that
to the
tasting,
29th
that's difficult. But
in
what I would say
Belfast
is
City
the
Centre and
distilleries that are involved
in all
themselves for next
many
year,
quarters
who've already
of the
said
city.
from
I
Scotland
think
we're
there
going
are
to be
more than
there.
4
I think a
quarters in
lot of
Belfast,
people,
which is fantastic. So we're
and this is the
Hang
problem with
on,
COVID.
Only,
hang
only in
on.
Belfast would you
Hang on a second. There's a double audio coming on there, Justin. You're playing
But
out.
listen, who's headlining the
YouTube.
show?
No,
This lady's
it's
headlining
mute
the
on
show.
it,
And I
is it?
do like an
No,
Is it
accordion.
muted?
No, it's
Yeah,
not muted.
well, she's
Okay,
the
weird.
world's
It is muted
greatest
at my end,
Irish.
but that's a bit weird. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Justin's getting a double dunter in here. He's playing over the top of it.
No, it's weird. It's weird.
So
Yeah.
you're getting some of the old guys. There's just to give us a little recap, because there was a double play out there for some reason.
Listen, not a problem at all. No, so the idea for this session is quite specific. We're going to look at the distilleries that are less than 10 years old or 10 years old, and try to bring, you know, those new inaugural bottles or the new kind of releases to people to allow them to taste them. Because I think everyone goes to all the old bottles. They go to Macallan's or Aberlours or Glenfiddich's or Glenmorangies or whatever it is, you know, and I think they're missing a trick. You know, but people just are missing a trick. You know, the new stuff. It's a bit like everyone pushing the Irish stuff. You know, if you just look at IDL, or you just look at the distilleries, that, you know, the Cooley or Bushmills. If we just look at those, then we've been missing a hell of a lot. If we don't explore Dingle and we don't explore Redeman, or we don't explore the kind of new make stuff that's coming out elsewhere, or the West Corks. I meant to say West Cork are involved, so fair play to West Cork for getting involved in the festival here. Power to them. There's you know, I'm definitely looking forward to. And by the way, this year's happening, so it happens in 2 weeks' time. So in 2 weeks, and it's happening. It'll be over in 3 weeks' time. Gone.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, for next year, like you know, what is penciled in for next year is brilliant, because unfortunately, what happened to COVID, and what's happened to, I suppose the tourism industry and everything else. Everyone who had booked in the years 2020 and 2021 are holding right now.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of an issue, because Marty, you were part of this, but we had conversations 2 years ago with different tour operators who were busting to come here for certain things, and it's all changed. And next year, you know, I think that we have a different demographic of people coming specifically for this festival from different tour operators. But to look at the brands, it's very much the same as well. They were all then, there's been an outburst of events they've had to go to. So next year, we've got a lot of distilleries from Scotland penciled into this festival for next year. Really excited to have them here, because this year was just too quick for them because of all the other stuff they were doing. But now they're like, no, next year we can come here, we can do this. Yeah. And by the way, some of my favourite brands are coming next year, because I've told them, listen, I drink your stuff all the time. Why would you not come to Belfast?
Well, we managed to make it to Click Manager at Whiskey Festival, and we had a fantastic weekend.
Oh, it was fantastic, and what real was. And the thing is that, and I know you hear sort of comparing like for like, but Scottish whiskey brands, Scottish whiskey producers are a little bit further down the road than most of the Irish guys. One, they produce more whiskey, and two, they are more, how would you put it, experienced at doing all of this. A lot of this, I mean, people seem to forget. I mean, you are only 4 years old, and 2 years of that was banged with COVID. So really, you've only had this. This is really only your second fully live event, if you like.
Yeah, I that's the way I'd like to see it. I'd like to see. I think, don't get me wrong, absolutely loved the last 2 years online, because it was great. But this is year number 2, and it's year number 2 physical. I think we're still in a very strange place whereby, you know, people in general are just they're having to catch up. People in general having to catch. Many people I've spoken to are like, I need a holiday. Yeah, well, you've not had a holiday in 2 years.
Yeah,
I need a holiday right now, so that's great. So people are doing that. They're catching up. I actually think 3-4 years. I think in maybe our what will initially maybe be 2027 or something. I think something like that is probably when this festival should be judged. And it should be judged because at that stage, I think the conversation around the world is happening. People are seeing this as something, and the amount of conversations I have with people in random countries who are saying, "Oh, can't wait till I have the opportunity to come to Belfast."
Taiwan and likes, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to come to Belfast. We've got parties of people in India who want to come here solely for this festival. They don't see anything else like it, you know. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, I absolutely love everything about Islay. Love all the whiskey distilleries there. Let's put this into one comparable. Where do you stay when you go to Islay for the Whiskey Festival?
There you go.
And you come to Belfast and look at the plethora of hotels we have. Yes, we've got a arrangement with Hastings Group just now. That's super. And you get a discount if you come to Belfast. Great. But we also have shed loads of our hotels. Yeah. And here, you go to Islay, you may be staying in a camper van or a tent, or you might never make it to a hotel. So look, we've got lots of things that as a city that we can offer, and I genuinely believe that we have, because of our local distilleries and those guys who really do genuinely make an effort. I mean, the guys from McConnell are making a huge effort. I can see Titanic going to be doing the same. But look at Hinch and Copeland and Rademin and Ecklenville and Cologne. Oh my God, even getting down to Cologne. And, these guys will make it. And by the way, once we have a fantastic facility out at Limavady at some point, and the guys at Macrofelt, Paul Kelly, and also the guys at Glens of Antrim, think of all that reach. Think of all those. They are literally within 35, 45-minute drives from Belfast.
That's it.
So, I mean, listen, you can travel around Islay in 45 minutes and go to one of the distilleries. So let's be honest, why would you not come to Belfast and take those great opportunities to come to those ones?
And you don't have to stay in a tent and get ate by midges. you can actually stay in a clean bed without fear of midges.
There's always some chancer. There's always some chancer, Paul. Seamus Tobin says, can he go for free?
Where does he want to go? To Islay?
He wants to go to all the whiskey shows at Belfast Whiskey Week for free.
Right.
I tell you.
Sure. Yeah. Listen, just tell me, phone me. I'm sure we can work out something for free.
Listen, just the last 2 days. Now, the last 2 days, the 30th and the 31st. One's the Whiskey Expo, and then there's the wrap party. So what?
I always forget about this freaking expo. Oh, well, let's talk about the industry dinner first of all at the very start. We've got an industry dinner, and that is recognising people in the industry. So there's an industry set of awards that we're giving out. We're giving out 17 industry awards and 3 awards set by the festival. They're to recognise people who have made the industry happen. Now, it's not about the best whiskies, because other people do that and they do it very, very well, and we're involved in some of those blind tastings. So it's not about that. It's about how the industry works. It's about people like yourself maybe making an effort to make the industry work. Because actually, again, without someone like yourself, Justin, and without yourself, Marty, that people don't have those conversations external to their distilleries. So very important. People who make the tea, who generally do the hard grafting in the warehousing, who do everything in the distilleries. These people need to be recognised. The people who are making the brands and the designs of the packaging, again, that's what it's about. And it's about having, by the way, one of the best dinners that anyone will ever experience in Belfast. We've got head chef at from Hastings cooking us some absolutely wondrous, dishes, all infused with whiskey, all collaborated with whiskey, and so that'll be great. The Whiskey Expo is a 2-stage event. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff for the trade and a 4 o'clock kickoff for the public. So the ticket that you might find online is for the public. And it's really all the local distilleries and a couple from the south that are involved in showcasing their brands in a very chilled out, relaxed manner in the penthouse suite up in the Europa. And it's just chilled out. Come in and have a bit of fun. There'll be a wee bit of acoustic music and some canopies, and you go around the room and meet all the brands and indeed their ambassadors and potentially their distillers. So it's a little bit like other events that might take place, but very much on a smaller scale. That first session is about trade. So it's about people in bars, or it's about people who work in off licenses being able to come in and meet those brands and it's free for them. So they have a session at 12 o'clock. It's free for everybody to come to that one within the within the trade, and tickets will be out with them. I think they're already out this weekend. If not, they're out this week to all the bars and restaurants. Loads of people have the opportunity to come to that. Again, it's a great thing. I don't understand why we don't connect enough with the trade collectively, and I think that's what we should be doing. And the exposition, so Whiskey Expo, which was what we're creating as our brand for the festival for it, is really about that. It's about connecting those brands to the trade, and I think just giving the general public the opportunity to do the same is beautiful, and the brands want it. The final event now, yeah, this has come about because we've got a couple of brands that just sit in a space where they wanted to say thank you to the festival, say thank you to their to the people who have been involved. So it's open to everyone who's got a ticket in the festival. It's a free event for anyone with a ticket. Any ticket you may have purchased during the festival, you can go along to the wrap party with the Rebel Ruse guys and the Criterion drinks people down at the new venue Trade Market, which is just on the Dublin Road. So really a great opportunity for people just to come and meet their brands. So they've got cocktails on the go. There'll be some attached to your ticket. There'll be some free drinks for you to try. So yeah, no, really impressed with Mark from Criterion Drinks who have brought that together. So fair play to them.
Fair play to them. I mean, the generosity of some of these guys has been. It means a lot to how generous they are.
Yeah. Listen, if you've ever met Chris Crooks from Dragon Claw, like he said to me, like last year we couldn't get involved. I think just because of the way in which it kind of all came about, because of the boxes being sent out and everyone else, it was a wee bit too much for a lot of people. But this year, he took the bull by the horns and said, "Listen, I want to open the festival. If I can have the opening session, create a club night." So he's got a DJ, he's got a DJ, he's got food, he's got cocktails, he's got whiskies. And I think I don't know how much, let me just have a look, was it 20 quid or something? Yeah, 20 quid, and you're getting some cocktails, some whiskies, some food, and a by the way, a Radio 1 style DJ, do you know what I mean, world renowned DJ. That's a club night for 20 quid. Now,
and there's free. And you say there's food. Look at Justin's wee face. There's food. It's food as well.
It's food. But it's Joby. Is it Joby? Is it Joby the DJ? Is it?
No. Is it?
Who's it? I don't know. I thought it was.
No, I'd have to
maybe check. I've got that wrong. No, check there in case I'm wrong.
Do you know what? I'm wondering whether I can bring it up on my phone.
Is he not the guy originally from Northern Ireland? No.
Let me go and have a wee check. Can you still see me? Or you probably lost me for a second.
Oh, we'll lose you for a second. You've gone black. He's gone to Morton's Chippy before it shuts. Oh, it's shut already. Too late. It's after 11. Paul, come back. Where are you? Come back. It's not.
Relax. I'll be back 1 second. Checking my phone. Yeah.
Still hear you.
Good.
Who is it?
We can still hear you. Don't panic.
Right, hold on. It's Richie Blacker.
Richie Blacker.
Richard Blacker. Yeah. Sorry.
So I believe he was on Radio 1 at one point. But yeah, he's one of those kind of sellout kind of DJs that you have for these kind of events. So listen, buzzing to have, really excited to have people coming on board. And by the way, the people who've supported us the longest, the likes of Dingle Distillery, Bowan, Dublin Liberties Distillery, and obviously Ecklandville. Yeah. These guys really, they to me, it's just great to see. And again, Joe McGowan, hat off to Joe McGowan.
Nice guy, yes, too.
Gareth Watson, hat off to Jamie
Cott. The strange thing is about Joe McGowan, when I talk to him on here, he looks like a really big guy, but when you meet him in real life, he's quite diminutive. That's a weird thing.
Half man, half beard.
He comes across online as a big guy, but in real life, he's normal size. But it's his enthusiasm from whiskey that must come across on the screen. It's his
obscene amount of facial hair, Justin.
He has a lot of beard. But listen, I don't know. Look, we have got some absolutely cracker ambassadors in this country, like absolute crackers. And it's been great to see.
Sarah,
well, it's been great.
Yeah,
What
good.
great to see the rise of women. So Sarah Kennedy from McConnell's, Lauren Mullen from from Boot Mills, and then but look at Dave Cummins from Dingle. Look at Joe McGowan representing Whiskey Club NI and Dylan Bast for IDL up here. And then look, people like Jamie Cotter having a bit of crack down in. But look, no, look, everyone's coming together. Everyone comes together for these events. Great to see Gareth Irvine again supporting it from Copeland, and I'm loving the enthusiasm from David and Fiona out at Redeman. But here, listen, I'm telling you, all these people. We didn't even mention the fact that we have festival bottles from different places. But the guys at Two Stacks, so Liam and Shane have created a Two Stacks bottle solely for the festival. Brendan Carty down at Cologne, festival bottling. There's an Ecklinville bottling, which is the cast that no one wants to talk about, is 162. Sorry, I said that. And then you've got a Radaman Estate bottling as well. And I'm missing a bottling. Hold on,
Paul. Why don't you come on with us again before the Whiskey Festival starts? Because there's so much to talk about. That's the smart way to do it.
Sure. Look, anytime you guys talk, come on and talk. But listen, again, thank you very much for having me. I know you have time on this, so I appreciate it. You've given me plenty of time. I really appreciate it.
Put it like this: anyone who wants to come and listen to me whittering away for a bit on a couple of times a day, you can buy multi-tickets. You can come and listen to me do it a couple of times. As I say, I'm doing these tours, whiskey walking tours. But it's history, but it's not all just whiskey.
But it's great. It's great value. How much is a ticket to come and watch? I'm just having a wee look down here. Is it like 25 quid or something?
Something like that.
Here's a good question. Declan Boyle says, if you give a lift to someone that does not drink, is there a ticket at a reduced price? That's a good question. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
If you don't drink, if you do not drink, there's a lot of the sessions you can come to, obviously, people. Of course you can. And do you know what? That happens in hospitality all the time. So like you just let us know in advance. But the person purchasing the ticket for their alcohol just puts in the notes, Jimmy's going to be coming with me. Can I make sure I get him to have access? And that's perfectly fine. I love the chancers though. It's good.
I know.
But look, it's a serious question. I remember driving as a student sometimes and not taking a drink and getting free Coke and lemonade at the bar, which I thought was great. Just show them your car keys, and then everyone did it. So everyone car keys. You ordered a vodka, got free Coke and your lemonade. You know what I mean?
Oh my!
That was a smart thing to do at the bar.
Oh boy!
No, it's
hold on. We didn't even mention. Have you guys come across Joanna from Spirit of Toronto? No. So listen, no. Johanna runs Spirit of Toronto in Canada, and it's a bit like a Dublin Live event, but a little bit. I think it's a little bit more unique. They do like these little masterclass tastings, and over lockdown, all over last 2 years they've been sending them out in boxes around Canada, which is pretty cool. They really went all there with the brands. But they're coming over here and they're going to present Canadian whiskies at the festival. I mentioned the Australians with John Halton, but I didn't mention her. And then we're supporting Potchine now, which is a festival in Dublin taking place at the end of this year. Potchine now is a 2-day Potchine festival, and we're supporting them by having a Potchine Fest here in the festival with Francis Levy. So that'll be interesting. Try to pick out some Potchines and let people taste them. So I know there's so many events, genuinely so many events that we probably forgot someone or forgot what we've been talking about. But listen, here it's a bit of crack.
Put it like this: anyone who wants to go to the festival, anyone who wants to have a look, even if you're not going to go to the festival, just have a look down, just to admire all the stuff that's been going on. You can pick it up at the website. Justin's going to put up the BelfastWhiskeyWeek.com website. Just click the link and have a look through. And even if you can't go, just have a look through, and it might even spur you on to think maybe we'll come next year, and you can plan because it's going to be last week in July.
Do you know what they're going to see? I mean, as I said, we're broadcasting every day live, but we're also going to be doing a montage. So we're filming every event. They'll be filming at every event, and we're going to montage every day. So you can see like, you know, maybe a 10-15 minute montage of the day before and show you what you've missed. And hopefully that entices people, because I genuinely, you know, as a whiskey drinker,
Yeah.
there's something in this festival for a whiskey drinker. Fact.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're not a whiskey drinker, there's something in here for you to get your head around and maybe understand whiskey. So it's, you know,
that's it. I mean,
exactly. It's like Vegas. It's not all about gambling. This isn't all about whiskey. It's about the history, the social scene, entertainment in Belfast, the whole gamut, Paul.
put it like this: the thing, if anybody that comes along on my tour, what I try and do in all these tours is I try and weave in just that whiskey was there at all these little points in history, and there were certain quirky things that happened, and there were certain different things that happened, and if you're not that interested in whiskey, there's a bit there for you. If you are a whiskey nerd, a bit like myself, you can jump in and probably find out a little bits and pieces, and probably show you little places that you probably didn't even notice before, you know, and that's kind of what we do. So if you're not a whiskey nerd, you're fine. If you are a whiskey nerd, there'll be some stuff there for you too, and it'll be a bit of crack. That's primary number one.
I think Justin's looking forward to the press invites that are going out for the different. He's like, what ones am I allowed to come to?
No. What Justin will be thinking is there going to be donuts at these press invites? Because I wouldn't eat all the donuts.
He knows me too well. He knows me too well.
So I hope people know this when they buy a day pass. So the day passes are smart, right? It's £90 for a day pass. But if you look at that, what does that mean? It's 4 sessions in a day: 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and you get a £10 food voucher to get, maybe it's the burger that we've got on the go, maybe it's some of the food outlets that we're using in Common Market, or you will also have a donut token. Get your free donut with your day pass.
Because all I'll say is, if you're not going to use your day donut pass, Justin will kindly take all your day donut passes.
I know. Listen, we're going to call it a wrap. We'll talk to you before then. Again, I think, Paul, at some point, even if we'll have to do a special, I think we'll have to squeeze it in, because we want to make sure all the sponsors, everybody involved, gets a mention on air. So
I didn't even mention our overall sponsor of the festival. We've got 2, I suppose, you know, Willis Insurance and Risk Management are a massive sponsor of the festival, and we really do appreciate what they've done. We've had a couple of tastings with them in the last few weeks with their staff. We did a whiskey tasting and a gin tasting with their staff, just to give them a flavour of what is happening in the festival, which they absolutely loved. And we also, you know, partnered up with U105. So you're going to hear probably wee jingles all week on U105 if you listen to it. And they're, you know, they've come on board as a bit of a sponsor partner there as well. But look, I appreciate it tonight, guys. Honestly, it's great crack. I'm going to be taking a bit of a downtime just for tomorrow, and then I'm back at it from Monday onwards again. But yeah, I needed a bit of a break because it has been a manic mental.
Here, I'm going to leave you with this thought. Justin needs to come out of the closet. You mean that I'm becoming a secret whiskey drinker? This could be it. Otherwise, expect a letter from a solicitor. Anyway.
I think is it in the closet because you're that dark? You know,
no, I'm not dark. You're darker than me. I like to turn down the light because if it's too bright, otherwise. Alexa.
Alexa. Listen,
Alexa.
We will speak to you during the week, my friend. A few things I have to talk to you about just coming up to the festival. But other than that, my friend, I shall talk to you again very, very, very soon. Thank you very much, mate. And
thanks for watching. Remember to comment, like, and share. Hit us up on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Telegram, and wherever you get your podcast from, Anchor.